Today, Bungie Studios are up to something strange, but is it Oni 2? No, it isn't. Find out on CheckPoint.
Welcome to CheckPoint. I'm Kathleen DeVere.
And I'm Graham Stark, and we're broadcasting this week in THX for a slightly reduced hiss. Obsidian Entertainment has said they hope to avoid a repeat performance of Fallout New Vegas' horrendously buggy release by ensuring their next game, Dungeon Siege 3, receives a higher standard of quality assurance testing. This presumably means Obsidian will double their QA department to 2 people, working part-time while they finish their degrees in medieval literature and applied dance, respectively.
In a recent talk, KJ Inafune, creator of Mega Man, Lost Planet, and Dead Rising, mentioned that during his time at Capcom, there was a policy in place where 70 to 80% of all games produced had to be sequels. Wow, Capcom! We just thought you never had any new ideas. We didn't realize you were actively crushing new ideas. We extend our condolences to all potential innovation snuffed out in Capcom's sequel factory.
Blizzard has announced that World of Warcraft subscriptions dropped 5% following the release of Cataclysm. This means at least 600,000 people have managed to reclaim their autonomy and are actually able to wake themselves from Blizzard's quest-fueled Odin sleep. Blizzard attributes this to Cataclysm not taking long enough to beat, something they say they plan to address. We're expecting the solution to involve increased travel times, or maybe just moving every in-game object slightly further apart.
Although, any new innovation from Blizzard seems unlikely because, in related news, they've started company-wide beta testing for Diablo 3, which means nobody at Blizzard will be doing anything for at least several months. Also, dear Blizzard, expect my resume in the morning.
Ubisoft has said that the next Assassin's Creed game will feature both Ezio and Altair. Apparently, Ass Creed bland antagonist Desmond will go into the Animus and experience memories of Ezio, who will himself experience memories of Altair, like some sort of Inception but with more stabbing, and thus further delaying the game that will finally star Desmond.
Nobody wants to play as Desmond. He's a douche.
I thought he was getting better game to game.
Okay, who would you rather play as? Some jerk who probably has an Ed Hardy t-shirt underneath his hoodie, or an Italian Renaissance playboy who's BFFs with Leonardo da Vinci?
Alright, fine.
Halo developer Bungie Studios is known for secrecy and lovingly messing with people, but a new development is really raising some eyebrows. Jeremy Petter has more.
Thank you, Kathleen. Not a lot is known about Bungie's activities since the company split from Microsoft in 2007. Last week, however, they made a visible move towards some goal, incorporating a business entity called Bungie Aerospace in both Washington State and Washington, D.C. I've contacted newly promoted senior correspondent Rex Carnegie for more information. Rex, are you there? Rex?
What?
You were gonna report on the Bungie situation?
Yeah, look, I was a little busy fleeing the continent.
Pardon?
All right, look. You think this is some sort of game? Some sort of alternate reality cross-promotion for a shooter MMO made for Activision? Well, think again, kiddies. Bungie's real plan is far more sinister. At 5:20 a.m. on January 3rd, 2012, they will put this plan into action, becoming a major threat to every person in North America, the world, and beyond. Releasing a hit video game, staging a bloody separation from their parent company, keeping a frozen dog's head in the company freezer, opening a Chinese restaurant in their swanky open concept offices were just means to an end goal. And that end goal? To fire their so-called enemies into the sun using a giant slingshot. It's been in their mission statement for years. It's on their website. Look it up. The name Bungie Aerospace starts to make a lot more sense when you realize that their offices in Washington State and D.C. would make perfect anchor points for a continent-sized solar slingshot. 40-story weighted stakes, joining a 2,700-mile coast-to-coast elastic, or Bungie, that when pulled back to southern Texas would contain enough energy to fire hundreds of thousands of people out of the atmosphere and into the nearest stellar object. The Earth reaches its farthest point from the Sun in the first week of June 2011, conveniently the date of E3 and Bungie's next big product unveiling. My prediction is that this is when we see the announcement and possible demonstration of the aerospace technology and the beginning of a 6-month countdown to Bungie's dominance of Western civilization as we know it. On January 3rd, 2012, the Earth will be at its closest point to the Sun, and when the Sun rises on Texas at 7:20 a.m. local time, 5:20 Pacific, the trajectory will be perfect for Bungie to put its plan into action against its so-called enemies. Forum trolls, game journalists, pretty much everybody who's ever touched a Call of Duty game would seem to be likely first targets. However, in my opinion, nobody's safe.
And hence you're fleeing the country.
Yes, I'm moving to Siberia, where the sun doesn't shine for half the year. They can't shoot me into the sun if it's night. Hey, you should join me. Plenty of expired army rations to go around.
I think I'll take my chances. Back to you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And thank you, Bungie. And I just want to say that I thought Pathways into Darkness was great. And also Kathleen's more aerodynamic.
What was that?
Nothing.
Coming up, Sony sends t-shirts to PlayStation Rewards beta testers. Sony promises they'll be wearable within the month.